Greetings, Earthlings. It's Ben Aqua. Here's a quick low-light comparison between the Panasonic 25mm f1.4 Leica lens and the Panasonic 25mm f1.7 lens. The biggest difference between these two lenses, as I talked about in my previous video, is the f1.4 has 0.3 extra stops in the aperture, which means it'll let more light in when you're shooting wide open. By the time you get up to like the ISO 500s and 640s, you can start to see the graininess, but that may be more because of the Panasonic G85's limitation. I'm noticing in the f1.4 on the left, around the certain super bright areas like around the candle and the lights blurred out in the background, you see the green and reddish fringing going on. You can already tell that the f1.4 lens is picking up more details, but it's not really a huge dramatic difference. The color rendering seems pretty similar in both of these lenses. Dynamic range seems pretty similar. If you're going to be shooting in a lot of low light situations, I would definitely recommend getting the f1.4 lens on the left. It's definitely more expensive, but I think it's worth the investment. But overall, both of these images look very similar to me. Even at higher ISOs, you still get a lot of nice detail and sharpness. Both of those lenses did pretty well with that shot. And here's shot number 2, where we have a really dimly lit room with an ominous face sculpture thing. The whole thing is lit by candlelight. Starting at about ISO 400, you're starting to see more features in the sculpture's face in the f1.4 on the left. I'm seeing a little bit of noise. The images still look pretty similar overall at about ISO 800. The f1.4 lens lets in more light, so it's just going to give you a better result overall. But is it worth $400 extra? I would say no, unless you have the money. That kind of goes with a lot of gear though, right? Like if you can afford it, just get it. So going into the higher ISOs, on this shot, you see the graininess start to happen. Everything's almost blasted out by ISO 4000, but you still see a decent amount of sharpness. One thing I am noticing in these tests is I keep on looking at the f1.4 picture on the left, even though both of these images look very similar to me. So overall, yes, I do dig the 1.4 lens, but if you only have a budget for a 1.7 lens, I mean, you can get that one for like $150. It'll give you a result that looks very, very similar to the 1.4 lens, and you'll save about $400. I'll leave links to both of these lenses in the description. And finally, here's an extra test that I did with both lenses at f1.8 at ISO 2500. These pictures look very similar to me, although the f1.4 lens on the left looks slightly sharper in the details. It seems like there's like a little more contrast in the f1.4 lens as well. The juicy bokeh balls in the background look a little more round on the f1.4 lens. The almost as equally juicy bokeh balls on the f1.7 lens on the right, they look more oval shaped. But those kind of details I think you would only notice if you're doing a side-by-side comparison. And both of these images look really, really good to me. So whether you get the f1.4 lens or the f1.7 lens, I don't think you're gonna go wrong with either one. If you haven't seen my other video about these two lenses, I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. If you have any other questions about these lenses, and if you'd like to see me do any other tests, feel free to leave those in the comments. Smash that like button and subscribe for more videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.